The Association of Australian Education Representative in Nepal, AAERI नेपालको 7औं वार्षिक साधारण सभा विशेष कार्यक्रम इम्प्याक्ट फोरम अन अस्ट्रेलियन एजुकेसन 2025 सँगै सम्पन्न भएको छ। ललितपुरको पुल्चोक स्थित दि प्लाजामा आयोजित यस कार्यक्रममा नेपाल र अस्ट्रेलियाका शिक्षाविद, युनिभर्सिटी रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ, कूटनीतिज्ञ अनि विद्यार्थीबीच गहन छलफल भएको थियो। कार्यक्रमको सञ्चालन सुहाना बुढाथोकीले गर्नुभएको थियो। सुरुवातमा नेपाल र अस्ट्रेलियाको राष्ट्रिय गान बजाइएको थियो। त्यसपछि एरी नेपालका अध्यक्ष दिराज शर्माले स्वागत मन्तव्य दिँदै नेपाल अस्ट्रेलिया शिक्षा सम्बन्ध अझ प्रगाढ बनाउन यस्तो फोरमहरूले महत्त्वपूर्ण भूमिका खेल्ने जानकारी गराउनुभयो।
This year's anniversary event has been titled as Impact Forum Australian Education. I extend a heartfelt welcome to our Chief Guest, Our Excellency Lynn Johnson, Australian Ambassador to Nepal. Keynote Speaker, Honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Swarnim Wagle, and Member of Parliament, Mr. Manisha, should be on his way. Please, welcome. Deputy Ambassador and Head of Mission, Greg Kang, our CNI President, Mr. Virendra Pandey, Non-Resident Nepali Association NRN President, Dr. Badri Kesi, and CEO, Mr. Rajendra Rawat, Ms. Lucky Sherpa, former Ambassador to Australia, Mr. Mahesh Tahal, former Nepalese Ambassador to Australia, Mr. Deepak Bharta, unfortunately couldn't make it because of his health issue, entrepreneurs and former Consul General to New South Wales. President of NYEF, Mr. Sudip Himide, President of ANAM and Nepal Australia Chambers of Commerce for joining us. My buddy Otto, founder and CEO of Home Loan Experts and MD of Ally Enterprises. We welcome you all to this year's Impact Forum. I warmly welcome representatives from Australian institutions, esteemed panelists, moderators, sponsors, editors, and members of the media, CEOs and members of the bank, invitees, and most importantly, our future students. This evening is a milestone in our journey. Having successfully concluded our AGM this afternoon, we reaffirm our mission to promote and advocate the transformative opportunities Australian education provides for Nepalese students and society. Through our Impact Forum on Australian Education, we continue to highlight the meaningful contributions that education has made to Nepal's business environment, skill development, and overall quality landscape. The impact of global education in Nepal has been extraordinary. Thousands of our students have gained knowledge and experiences from Australia. And today, over 200,000 Nepalese proudly call Australia their second home or first home, with more than 70,000 currently pursuing higher education there. To our students, I encourage you to inform choices, research thoroughly, plan financially, and prepare well for the academic journey ahead so as to not to burn a hole in your sponsor's wallet. I further encourage the youth to make most out of the great opportunity offered in Australia. Remember, your success directly depends on preparation and your commitment to your education. Now, without further ado, I further express my sincere gratitude to Ambassador Johnson, the Deputy Head of Mission, Australia, the Department of Education and Research, and our colleagues at AAERI India Nepal for their steadfast support. Finally, Dr. Swarnim Wagle and Mr. Jha, along with our esteemed executive board members of AAERI Nepal, thank you all for your support in making this Impact Forum more impactful. My welcoming would not be justice if I do not mention and thank to our valued sponsor personally. SBI Bank Nepal, Neville Bank, Siddhartha Bank and Prabhu Banks, IDPI, NIB Insurance, Pearson Test of English, Alpha Care and Nico Insurance. Tonight, let's collaborate, let's celebrate our collective efforts in upholding the two nations' new relationship, which has been fostered further thanks to the impact of Australian education and its global demand in ensuring quality. Thank you all, and I wish you an impactful learning takeaways from this evening. Thank you all again.
पहिलो प्यानल डिस्कसनमा सस्टेनिङ द स्टुडेन्ट रिक्रुटमेन्ट इकोसिस्टम इन नेपाल स्ट्राटेजिक फर कोलाबोरेसन कम्प्लायन्स एन्ड मार्केट डाइभर्सिफिकेसन विषयमा केन्द्रित रहेको थियो। उक्त सत्रको संयोजन एरी नेपालका पूर्व अध्यक्ष महेश बाबु तिमल सिन्हाले गर्नुभएको थियो। छलफलमा सृष्टि भट्टराई नवितास ग्रुपबाट, अनुप श्रेष्ठ युनिभर्सिटी अफ एडिलेड, सुबी प्रधान साउदर्न क्रस युनिभर्सिटी र अल्कायत होसेन मक्वारी युनिभर्सिटीबाट सहभागिता जनाउनु भएको थियो। विशेष सत्रमा ओटो डार्गन, CEO एन्ड फाउन्डर अफ होम लोन एक्सपर्ट अस्ट्रेलिया तथा आइला नेपालले दि म्याजिक अफ नेपाल प्लस दि एक्सपिरियन्स अफ द वर्ल्ड भन्ने विषयमा केन्द्रित रहेर आफ्नो विचार प्रस्तुत गर्नुभएको थियो।
While I'm an Australian, Nepal has been Mero Mankogar for about 13 years now. So many of you may not know AAERI, who we are in Nepal. AAERI is an Australian and Nepalese finance business with 330 staff in Kathmandu. And we help people in Australia to get a mortgage. But in reality, we are 97% Nepali. We are a Nepalese business. And ironically now, the Australian mortgage industry has become quite big in Kathmandu, much to the surprise of the Philippines and of India. Nepal has become an outsourcing hub for Australia. And Alea, it means home. And for us, we want to create a place that people feel home. And our true mission is to build people. And in that way, we're the same. My core belief is that the world should be a better place because I was here. And so that's why I'm here in Nepal. I'm not here to take, I'm here to give. And it all started because 13 years ago, I came trekking to Everest Base Camp. I didn't really know anything about Nepal. I could kind of point to it on a map. That was about it. And I met a young man, and he was so filled with ambition, and he had this light in his eyes, and he was so smart. But what I saw is he didn't have any opportunity. And I was so impressed by him that I offered him a job on the spot. We didn't have an office in Nepal. We didn't have a plan. We hadn't done any research whatsoever. And that is how we started in Nepal. And from that, we've built to over 330 staff today. And what I see is that young people, they're often quite lost. And they look ahead of them and they see kind of three paths. They see that they can move abroad and study. And a lot of them should. It's the right thing for them to do. And a lot of them, they learn new skills. They come back to Nepal, they start businesses, and Nepal gets stronger. Another path is to have a stable and predictable life. Here in Nepal, living with parents. We want to be the third path, and that is a harder one, and that is to be in Nepal but have an international career, and to help people reach their potential. So we are a great employer for boomerang Nepalis, the ones that go to Australia and then end up coming back. Very often when you travel, you change. Traveling and never leaving home are not the same. It is you that has come back different. And we want to be a career accelerator. We're a terrible place for someone who just wants a job. We are a really good place for someone who wants a career.
त्यस्तै विचार प्रस्तुत गर्ने सन्दर्भमा विकास सिंह अस्ट्रेड र जर्ज थिवेओस डिपार्टमेन्ट अफ एजुकेसन अस्ट्रेलियाले भर्चुअली आफ्नो सन्देश वाचन गर्नुभएको थियो।
Business partners, agents, very, very important part of the ecosystem for us. And of course, an association like AAERI really helps us connect with all our quality business partners across Nepal in the one forum. I'm delighted that you've got support today from our ambassador. Ambassador Johnston is there. We've got Deputy Head of Mission, Greg Glenn there as well. And, we will be back again in the next couple of months as a whole Australian government ecosystem to engage with you. I do want to leave you with a few messages. Australia is a warm, welcoming and open destination for international students. We remain committed for students from Nepal looking to choose Australia as their preferred destination, and we are really focusing on three things. The first is quality. We want to make sure that your students have a quality experience when you come and study in Australia. I am the product of an Australian education, Australian international education actually, and definitely want to make sure that every student that comes to Nepal gets the same benefit as well. Integrity. We have one of the best systems in the world, and we want to make sure that we maintain the integrity of that system. Thirdly, it's sustainability. Now, We want to grow. We want more and more students from across the world to come and study in Australia, but it's about growing sustainably. So we want to make sure that we grow, but we do that in a sustainable fashion. I'd love to have a more robust discussion with you, and I look forward to doing that in the coming months and weeks when I'm in Kathmandu. But for now, I hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you.
I'm based at the High Commission in New Delhi. It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today, and I'm very sorry that I can't be there in person. I haven't yet had a chance to visit Nepal myself, but I'm very much hoping to be there later this year. I want to start by saying thank you for all the work you do every day to support the Australian international education sector. Your efforts play a vital role in helping students make informed choices and in strengthening the ties between Australia and Nepal. I've heard so much about the incredible work that you all do and the positive outcomes we have achieved together. It's clear that the relationship we have built is one based on trust, professionalism, and a shared commitment to quality and student success. We know that when students are supported well, they thrive, and that's exactly what you make possible. So thank you again for your partnership, and I look forward to meeting many of you in person soon.
दोस्रो प्यानल डिस्कसनमा harnessing the importance of Australian education, the role of recruiting Nepali graduates in shaping Nepal's economic future भन्ने विषयमा केन्द्रित रहेको थियो। उक्त कार्यक्रमको संयोजक डाक्टर पारस खरेलले गर्नुभएको थियो भने प्यानलिस्टमा अभिषेक श्रेष्ठ ICMS ग्रेजुएट, डाक्टर समीर दीक्षित युनिभर्सिटी अफ वुलङ्गन ग्रेजुएट, आरुषि शर्मा युनिभर्सिटी अफ सिडनी र अश्लेषा कार्की युनिभर्सिटी अफ मेलबर्नका ग्रेजुएट्सहरू रहनु भएको थियो।
Actually, I'd like to congratulate AAERI Nepal for this wonderful impact program. I think this was a really powerful message that the returnees from the Australian education system have really contributed to Nepal's economy. I also was briefly worked in Australia, not educated, but I had an opportunity to work in Australia for about 5 years in various infrastructure projects. And I really learned the work ethics, culture, structures, procedures, and the technology and many more. That should be our benchmark for our Nepalese industries and work culture as well. Briefly about CNI, it is the umbrella organization representing medium and large industries in Nepal. We have around 7,000 plus members, and our members contribute about 70% of the tax revenues to the government. So it's quite a significant organization. And we have about 19 different committees, and a couple of very important committees are education and skills and international business and diaspora. So we really work to enhance the education system in Nepal.
कार्यक्रमका प्रमुख वक्ता सांसद डाक्टर स्वर्णिम वाग्लेले अस्ट्रेलियामा शिक्षा हासिल गरेका युवा युवतीहरूले नेपालको अर्थतन्त्र र नीति निर्माणमा पुर्याउन सक्ने योगदानको विषयमा विस्तृत जानकारी गराउनुभयो।
International character infuses the higher education ethos, and that's always a welcome attribute to have for young people who might have left their homes for the first time, right? I've seen or I've heard, I've met people, young Nepalis, who, with much excitement would land in the United States, but end up in this suburban college in the middle of Kansas with no Nepali in sight, right? So this international character, I think the universities are also adept at handling what issues come up regularly, and that is a very important point to note. Even with the Australians who study alongside you, there's also a unique character. I've noticed. Let me add that I've had the good fortune of studying on 4 continents. I did my high school in Nepal, I did my undergraduate in Europe, I did my master's in the United States, and I did my PhD in Australia. So having studied on 4 continents, I can speak with some authority on the relative merits of the respective higher education system. So what I'm saying is, in the UK, for example, or even in the US, the volume is so big, the scale that you're talking of is so big, the society is so stratified, that often universities end up assuming a distinct class category, right? And that's something that I didn't see in Australia. And when I explored why, it turns out that Australian students are encouraged to really go into higher education, and they're enabled by the state with very concessionary loans. There's a famous student loan scheme called HEX. You can borrow quite generously from the state, and once you start working, you pay off. So it's a very world-famous scholarship scheme that enables access, inclusion, and and fosters meritocracy in a relatively healthy democracy. So that international character, married with that very uniquely Australian policy innovation, I think stands out. And this is in contrast to other Western university ecosystems. We make our career choices. He's happy with his, I'm happy with mine. But every day in everything that I do as a public servant, as an elected MP, formally as a policymaker, even in my international career, I do think there's a little bit of Australia that I carry with me, the values, the ethos, the rigor, and the respect for diversity. So I wish you well, and I do need to leave, but I wish this event successful, and if there's an occasion to interact with you in a different setting, I'd be happy to offer my advice. And folks who are looking at higher education, especially PhD, on which I have first-hand experience, I'd be happy to share my experiences and insights. So thank you very much.
कार्यक्रमकी प्रमुख अतिथि नेपालका लागि अस्ट्रेलियाली राजदूत लेआन जोन्स्टनले द्विपक्षीय शिक्षा सम्बन्ध अझ मजबुत बनाउन कूटनीतिक र शैक्षिक सहकारी अपरिहार्य रहेको जानकारी गराउनुभयो.
But what I wanted to say is there is so much love for Australia in this room, for the connections between Nepal and Australia, and so it is very much my pleasure to be able to speak to you tonight. And so I'd like to thank Dwiraj and the team at AAERI for putting on this event. It is not often that you get the privilege of speaking to a converted audience, and I'm going to milk it for as much as I can. I very much appreciated the messages about the practices from the consultants. We liked, from the embassy, we like to thank the consultants for your very ethical practices here in Nepal, your consistency in focusing on students and on prepping the students for the best experience that they can have in Australia. I would agree with a lot of the comments from today's speakers that the experience in Australia is not just about an education. It's not just about the classroom, it is about the education that you get outside the classroom. It is the jobs that you take so that you can learn the language of communication. You can learn the language of business, of client-business relations. These are important lessons. It is also about how to strike that balance between work-life balance, study-life balance. Get out there and learn more about Australia. Learn more about the cultures, learn more about those lessons that you can take, that you absorb, whether it's drinking coffee in Melbourne's cafe culture, whether it is visiting medical facilities, working in medical facilities, using cosmetic products that advertise themselves as chemical-free. You absorb these sort of subconsciously, and then you bring them back to Nepal. This is the benefit of an international education. It supports a very dynamic industry, but it is also hugely important to a young country like Nepal to be able to build on these sort of subconscious lessons to build a strong economic future. So there are other takeaways that I have from tonight as well, and I would like to thank our keynote speaker, who sadly has left already. He made a lot of very good observations, a lot of very friendly observations about the Australian education sector. He's right. that competition amongst the group of 8 does build and enforce improvements. But it also means that the regional education centres, the non-group of 8, they are also forced to compete to offer what we call, the Australian brand of education. It is a high-quality education, and it doesn't matter, and I'm very grateful to those who also spoke about the opportunities of education in a regional centre. I agree. I think having studied at ANU, and ANU is considered a regional centre, and my children having studied at regional centres, Canberra, that we have all benefited from that education. So I would like to thank him for acknowledging that.
अन्तमा एरी नेपालका उपाध्यक्ष बुद्धिसागर अर्यालले धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गर्दै औपचारिक सत्र सम्पन्न भएको घोषणा गर्नुभयो। यस कार्यक्रमलाई सफल बनाउन एनआईबी, आईडीपी आइल्स, नबिल बैंक, नेपाल एसबीआई बैंक, पियर्सन पीटीई, सिद्धार्थ बैंक, प्रभु बैंक, नेको इन्सुरेन्स लिमिटेड, अल्फा केयर डायग्नोस्टिक सेन्टर र जुपिटर मिडियाले विशेष सहयोग गरेका थिए।
On behalf of AAERI Nepal, it is my great honor to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks at the conclusion of today's Impact Forum on Australian Education. First and foremost, I would like to thank our distinguished guest, Chief Guest, Her Excellency Lynn Johnson, Ambassador of Australia to Nepal, for her gracious presence and inspiring remarks. Also, would like to thank the Deputy Ambassador, Mr. Greg Tim. A sincere thank you to our keynote speaker, Honorable MP Dr. Soni Moagle, for sharing such a valuable insight that truly enriched this program. Alongside that, Honorable MP Mr. Man Jha, for your presence. Also thank you, former Ambassador of Nepal to Australia, Mr. Mahesh Dahal, and Ms. Lucky Sherpa for your presence. Special thanks to Mr. Otuk Dragon for his engaging session on the magic of Nepal plus experience of the world. Also would like to thank Mr. Birendra Raj Pandey, CNI President, for motivational word. To our panel moderators, Mr. Mahesh Babu Timilsina and Dr. Paras Kharel, all the esteemed panelists, thank you for your thought-provoking discussion and the highlighting opportunity to strengthen collaboration in education beyond. We are also grateful to our virtual speaker from Australia and the Australian Department of Education and their important contribution. I also extend gratitude to our virtual speaker. Also extend gratitude to our Mr. Dhira Sharma and the organizing committee for their leadership and tireless effort in making the event great success. To all our members, partners, friends, university, college representatives, and our valued guests, media, thank you for your active participation, which has truly made this gathering meaningful. I would also like to thank all of our sponsors, Nabil Bank, NIB, Nepal SBI Bank, Prabhu Bank, and IDP IELTS, Nico Insurance, Pearson PT, Siddharth Bank, Alpha Care. I would like to thank the Plaza family for providing such a wonderful venue. Last but not least, appreciation goes to our session host, Ms. Suhana Burathoki, for steering this program smoothly.
समृद्ध विचार, बहुआयामिक सहभागिता अनि सक्रिय छलफलसहित सम्पन्न इम्प्याक्ट फोरम अन अस्ट्रेलियन एजुकेसन 2025 ले नेपाल अस्ट्रेलिया शिक्षा सम्बन्धलाई अझ मजबुत बनाउन महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान पुर्याएको देखिन्छ।